Hey everyone, Paul Graff here with Remax Elite Brokers in Snohomish, Washington. This is my video series where I interview referral partners around the country. If you're planning to move this year and need to connect to a great agent, you should be able to find the person you need to connect with right here. Today, I want to introduce you to my friend Eric Free, who is an agent in Dayton, Ohio. Welcome, Eric. And what communities do you serve?
Hey, Paul, thanks so much. It's great to be with you today.
Sure.
I am in Greater Dayton, Ohio, so I serve about a 30-mile radius of downtown Dayton. So obviously that includes Dayton, Beaver Creek, Ohio, Fairborn, Ohio, which is where Wright Air Force Base is located, and then the other communities, Centerville, Troy, Vandalia, Tip City, Huber Heights. So pretty much a 30-mile radius around downtown Dayton.
Okay. Very cool. And Eric and I originally met through a mutual friend through the BUFFINI network, Eddie POOLE, who I interviewed last year. So if you guys are looking for that interview, you can find him on my YouTube channel too. Although I do need to update it because he changed brokerages since our last recording. But anyways, so yeah, Eric and I both follow the Brian BUFFINI program, and that was our connection. But why don't you tell us how long you've been in the business?
Sure. So I have been a licensed real estate agent since 2016. So I think I'm about halfway through my 8th year as a full-time agent.
Excellent.
Most of my background prior to since college has been ministry and church work.
Okay.
Was in full-time ministry for about 20, 21 years. And then as I started having kids and they started growing up and we needed some more income, I actually got into the insurance world. So I have a second business that I still own, which is an insurance agency. We deal mostly with Medicare products, but I don't actively sell in that business anymore. Just kind of maintain that. So I got licensed with real estate in 2016 and love it. And it was a natural transition from full-time church and ministry work into real estate. They both kind of do the same types of things. So it was a nice transition.
That's cool. So your initial connection with Eddie POOLE, was that through real estate or through ministry? Because he's been involved in church for his life too.
He is. And it was so interesting how we crossed paths. We actually crossed through the BUFFINI network. I met Eddie at one of the BUFFINI events in Nashville, in his hometown, and we've been great friends ever since.
Excellent. Yeah, I met Eddie at the master class in Dallas. I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago. So, yep. So why don't you give us a brief background of who you are and where you grew up and things like that, your family and stuff like that.
Sure. And I'm so sorry. My laptop's about to die, so I'm going to plug it in real quick.
Go ahead. That's fine.
That wasn't planned at all, I promise.
That's fine.
So to your question, I was born and raised in Alabama. I'm the only one that left. All of my family, all my siblings, parents, everybody's still there. Went to college in Cleveland, Tennessee, which is about 30 miles north of Chattanooga, at a small private university called Lee University. That's where I met my wife. She was there from Ohio, and she's from a small town in the Dayton area called Xenia. That's spelled with an X. Had never heard of Xenia, Ohio, but knew pretty quickly that I'd be moving there one day.
Well, that's how I ended up in Washington State too.
So, to her credit, she went with me to Alabama for 4 years. I was serving at a church there, and but once we started having kids, it was time to come home to Ohio. So that happened in 2004. So wow, actually that's 20 years this year we've been in Ohio. That's crazy.
Wow.
But like I said, was serving in full-time ministry until about 3 years ago. and made the decision to step away from that as a full-time occupation.
Mhm.
We're still obviously very involved in church and do a lot of things ministry-wise and volunteer-wise. But that's kind of how real estate happened. Like I said earlier, it
Nice.
was kind of a natural transition from ministry into real estate.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how that happened.
Okay, very cool. And you've only ever done real estate in Ohio then, so just
That's
in the
right.
Dayton area and surrounds, right?
That's correct.
What do you like about the Buffini program?
Well, I was introduced to Brian Buffini several years ago. My previous brokerage, when I first became licensed, was offering one of his courses, and just was immediately attracted to his philosophy.
Mhm.
And at the time, he was publishing his business philosophy, which was based on 7 scriptures out of
Mhm.
the Bible. He since has stopped publishing that. I think he got sued or something, but
Oh,
um, it, I was very, very attracted to his philosophy of doing business with
mhm.
biblical principles. Um, so that's kind of how I was introduced to him. And then, quite frankly, when COVID hit and my insurance business that I was very involved in kind of changed drastically because we were dealing with mostly a senior population. And
Right.
obviously, COVID changed that whole dynamic of how we interacted with them. It was during that transition time when I decided to to join the Buffini coaching program and go full time into real estate, and that's kind of how that transition happened.
Very cool. So for people moving to your state or at least your area of the country, um, what should they know about, Ohio and the surrounding area?
Sure. So Dayton itself, obviously, we're an Air Force town. We have
Okay.
Wright-Patterson Air Force Base here, about 5 minutes from my office. So
Wow.
I always joke, if you're coming to Dayton, you're either coming because of the Air Force or you have family here. Those are really the only reasons you come to Dayton. Um, but obviously, the base is the largest employer here.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't realize this also, Paul, that within about a 30-mile radius of downtown Dayton, there's about 8 or 10 universities. So there's a
Wow.
large university presence. We've got Wright State University, the University of Dayton with Dayton Flyers. Obviously, Ohio State University, which is our university, is an hour. University of Cincinnati, Miami University, Bowling Green University. So there's a lot of colleges and
Excellent.
universities around this area. So I do get a lot of interest from investors also, not just.
I was going to say, if you're interested in investing, this is gold for you guys to listen to,
Right.
right? So
Yeah,
it's
and
a
I
great
and our
area to.
our average home price sales last year, Paul, was about 276,000
Okay.
for our median home price. So Dayton is still very affordable.
Yeah.
We have the same problem everybody else in the country does. We don't have enough inventory.
Yeah.
So it's still very competitive, but it is very affordable, especially for people coming from, the west side of the country.
Mhm.
It's very affordable, and there's a lot
Nice.
of opportunities for investment.
Nice. So what do you like best about your city?
Like I mentioned before, I'm from Alabama,
Uh-huh.
and we don't get 4 seasons in Alabama. We get hot and hotter. So the thing I love about Ohio is we do have 4 seasons here. The older I get, the less fond I am of winter. But we do get 4 seasons. It's a beautiful
Nice.
area. There's a lot of if you're an outdoors type person, there's a lot of bicycling and rafting. There's a lot of arts and theater. There's just so many great things about Ohio that would be attractive to somebody, even if they're not in the Air Force.
Okay. Nice. What's the most unique thing about your city?
So I live in Troy, Ohio, which is
Okay.
a little suburb of north of downtown Dayton, and we have a great downtown.
Hmm.
We call it the Circle. There's a little
Okay.
circle in downtown Troy, a lot of coffee shops, restaurants, candy stores, just a really cool little place. And
Very cool.
it's just really nice to hang out there. Actually, I was just joking earlier today, a week ago today was the eclipse, right? Uh,
Uh-huh.
and we had totality here in Dayton. And
Wow.
I left the office early and went home because we were supposed to have several 100,000 visitors in Ohio. So I left the office and went home early. We actually went downtown just to grab a bite to eat, and it was like the 4th of July. There were probably
Wow.
2 or 3 thousand people downtown. There were food trucks set up, there were vendors set up selling stuff. It was crazy. I was like, is nobody working today or what? So, that's just kind of
That's
speaks to the community. It's just you get the
yeah,
small town feel, but you're close to everything that you want to be close to.
yeah, very cool. So, what should people relocating to Ohio do to prepare for a move?
Um, Call me
Okay,
because I really do enjoy the process of helping people relocate here.
excellent.
Um, from the home search to the moving, all of the contractors, the service people, I really enjoy that,
Mhm.
especially military families.
Yeah,
I just really enjoy serving that community of folks. Um, so really, it really is that simple. Just call me.
nice. I read a book when I got started in real estate called The Go Giver.
Yeah,
And one of the characters in there is the connector. And I said, I want to be that guy. I want to always be the person somebody comes to when they need to connect with somebody else, right? Just
sure.
always have that resource available. So very
Right.
cool. So as a real estate agent, though, what do you offer your clients and what makes you stand out from your competition?
Well, I'm sure, like you, because we're both part of the same community in the Buffini
Uh-huh.
organization. I only work by referral.
Uh-huh.
Uh, I don't I don't buy leads. I don't work with just anybody and everybody. I'm blessed to be able to be kind of specific on who I work with.
Yeah.
What that enables me to be able to do is to give very personalized service because I'm
Mhm.
not out chasing, leads all over the place. So
Right.
when I work with a family or a person or a group of people, uh, a lot of times they're like family
Yeah.
they become like family through the process, and I try to treat everybody that I work with like I was treating my own family that would be moving here to this area.
Hmm. Nice. So what kind of a client appreciation events do you put on?
So every year, right after the first of the year during the winter months, I do a bowling party.
Oh,
Where
wow.
we rent out the local bowling alley. We pay for everything. We invite all of our past clients, current clients, their family, their kids. We invite a lot of our service providers, our mortgage lenders, our title companies, those kind of people. Uh, they get to bowl for 2.5 hours. Everything's free. They get pizza and pop, and it's a great
Wow.
event, and it grows every year. And then
That's very
in the fall, we do at around Thanksgiving time, we do the Thanksgiving pies,
cool. Hmm.
um, and that's always a lot of fun. And then my brokerage actually does a brokerage wide client appreciation event every year. So I invite
Oh, wow. Okay.
all of my clients to that event. And then I'll mention this too, because this is the first year I'm doing it. I'm doing a Eric Free Real Estate Service Project. So there is an organization in downtown Dayton that's called the Dream Center,
Uh-huh.
uh, and I am going to set up a volunteer day for just and invite all of my clients to come and serve at the Dream Center. It's a
Oh.
homeless shelter. People, that are displaced can get a shower. They can do their laundry. They can
Mhm.
get a hot meal. They can get job resources, counseling, addiction recovery, all of those kind of things. So we're going to set up and have a service day, which I think is going to
That
be
is such a cool idea. I like that. I might have to take pair
that's
it
all
off
right.
that and do something like that in my area,
Sure.
honestly. Very cool. So, what about some books and movies and quotes that you read that have been an inspiration to you and things like that you could share with
Well,
our audience?
sure. That the book I just finished reading was Dave Ramsey's Baby Step Millionaires.
Okay.
So it was a deep dive into um, the lifestyles and the mindsets of your average millionaire. Just
Okay.
just stories. It wasn't
Mhm.
even it was just stories about how people became millionaires, and it was
That's good though, because I think that inspires you when you read about how somebody else
sure,
went through it, as opposed
correct,
to somebody just presenting the info to you. Like
right,
Yeah, getting that personal connection, I think, is big. So very
And
cool.
the average millionaire doesn't look like a millionaire. They drive a Honda Accord or a Toyota Camry,
Right.
and so
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun to read that. Um, and then I'm currently reading the 12-week year,
Okay.
which is challenging. As far as
Mhm.
movies go, honestly, man, I've got two teenagers at home. We don't watch a lot of movies. Our lives are consumed with sports right now, but the last movie that just really blew me away, and it's probably a couple of years old now, was Top Gun,
Okay.
the remake of Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
Just
that was good.
just an incredible movie.
Yeah. So what sports are your kids involved in?
So my son is a soccer player.
Huh?
He's graduating in May from high school. I'll brag on him a little bit. He was named the high school All-American this year, which we were super proud of.
Excellent.
It was a big deal. There's only 80 in the whole country that get
Wow.
All-American, so it was a big deal. He's going to University of Dayton to play soccer in the fall.
Mhm.
So we're super excited that he's going to be close to home, so we can actually watch him.
Very
And
cool.
my oldest daughter, she played soccer as well. She did not play after high school. And then we also have an 8-year-old, and she's playing soccer. So neither my wife or myself played soccer. I'm from Alabama. There was no such thing as soccer when I was growing up. It was football or football, and that was it.
Yeah. Nice. So where can people go to find you? Any the website you're on, YouTube,
Sure.
podcasts, things like that you're part of?
Yep. My website is ericfreerealestate.com. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, it's all at Eric Free Real Estate. Um, I have a LinkedIn page too, Eric Free Real Estate.
Okay.
I'm not
Excellent.
on TikTok or some of the other that my kids are on, but Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, it's all at Eric Free
Yep.
Real Estate.
Okay. Excellent. What kind of stuff do you do on social media?
Um, well, I take advantage of the Do It Now campaign that
Uh-huh.
Buffini is offering right now. So just trying to share that information,
Okay.
stay ahead of market data.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not on social media a ton, mostly
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram,
Yeah.
but that's where I'm at.
Excellent. Very cool. Well, I so appreciate you coming on my podcast today, Eric. It's been a lot of fun chatting with you. And
Yep.
again, if anybody listening needs has a friend or family member moving to the Ohio area, you need to get in touch with Eric so he can get you connected to the right people for your move. And even if you're not moving to the Dayton area, he probably has good referral partners around the state he can
For
pass you
sure.
off to as well. So make sure
Sure.
you do that. Why don't you give us your phone number again before we leave?
Yes, my cell number, call or text me anytime, is 937-657-6595. My email
Excellent.
is eric.free@irongaterealtors with an S.com. I so
Excellent.
appreciate it, Paul. It's been great chatting with you today, man.
All right. You take care, sir. Have a great day.
Right. Thanks, you too.